we talked to a friend of mine who is on the Florida coast, just south of Tampa Bay.
It's only a matter of time before this monster storm flattens parts of Florida.
A matter of hours.
Scary.
Until the worst reaches land. Now, it's already raining. It's already windy.
You've seen tornadoes.
I saw that.
It's incredible.
Listen, without further ado,
Yes.
let's bring them in. Because first off, you have an entire community here in Arizona that is concerned for your well-being, Loyd. Thank you for joining us.
Well, that's so nice. You know, I get concerned for y'all with those misters outside a restaurant.
Okay, well, there you go. We'll balance it out.
Look, everybody's got something, right?
Yes, sir.
Just a little backstory. We had Loyd on yesterday. He's one of Bruce's friends, and he was on at 5 o'clock. And he is staying just south of Tampa, Bruce?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Staying with his wife and her dad, who's in his 80s. Okay.
And we've identified as possibly stubborn.
A little bit stubborn,
Okay.
doesn't want to go. All right. So.
Oh, can I add to that?
Sure.
So we moved here for him. We are right down the street from our house, okay?
Okay.
But his house has hurricane glass, and I'll get to that in a minute. You'll love that.
Okay.
But right now, Dick, my father-in-law, is in the living room, and the TV is on. It's got news, and it's got the weather and all these meteorologists, right? And just when they get ready to do something interesting, he pops up on Facebook some kind of video. And it's always like, bang, 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 bang. And so we have all this audio.
What is
and
going
you can hardly hear anything.
He just doesn't want to see it. He's not into this. That is amazing. Listen, I can't wait to meet Dick someday. All right, so Loyd,
question.
I have questions. I've been following
Please.
a lot of your social media posts. Can I ask you about some of them and you tell me what's going on?
Sure.
These are things that I think people around here would have absolutely no knowledge of or understanding of. What did you do with like all of your patio furniture? Because you can imagine 180 mile an hour winds. Anything that's not literally tied down might end up 6 blocks away. So what did you do with the stuff like in your backyard?
Ooh, baby. So we have, in Florida, they have these lanais. Okay, So you got a pool and you've got big netting over it. And it's like this structure over it that has nets over that structure. Well, inside, of course, that wind goes right through. So inside, we took a huge, very weighty table, turned it all the way over. So it's very heavy. But the chairs, they're not heavy. So we walked them over to the pool and dropped them in the pool, and they sank down to the bottom. And I want to tell you, this is a bit like taking a spacewalk. It's really cool if you see the visual.
Yeah, I did.
Loyd Ford is joining us. Fort Myers, a resident. We're waiting for the monster. And that's what people are calling this thing. Okay, so what are the conditions right now?
Here, a lot of winds. It looks like we're on the sharp end of the wind at the moment, but as you probably know, this thing is headed toward our coast. It is massive.
Yeah.
So the wind pattern around it is just huge structure of just moving. And they talk about, like a crab does this thing where it goes through a new shell and all this. It goes through this thing where it's basically creating a new wall all the time. So you can see how violent it is when the wind shifts around it. That wind is coming through, and it's moved a little bit north. The center of this hurricane has moved north, which is actually pretty bad news for Tampa Bay,
right? Because
it's getting closer to them. It's going to be epic in terms of probably the damage that's going to take place. But for us here, we can see lots of violent wind happening. There are, at one point this afternoon, we had a tornado just to our east.
Okay, I was going to ask you. There's tornado warnings. I didn't know that was a thing on top of a hurricane.
Gosh.
Oh, not only are there warnings, there's a bunch of them. I mean, they're just going off all the time. Boom, 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 boom. And so we had one to the east and one to the west at the same time.
Oh, goodness.
So in that way, we're very lucky. Because we're right in the middle, and they're off to the right and left.
Lloyd,
So,
you have a different definition of luck than I do. Gaydos?
no. When I say we're in the middle, I mean we're not being disturbed.
Okay.
They're over here and they're over there, and that is my definition of luck.
Okay, 10-4.
All right, Loyd Ford is joining us out in Fort Myers. He is going to be there for the hurricane. He is staying put with his wife and her dad. Okay, so as we creep closer, as this thing creeps closer, and it starts getting darker and darker, and now you're waiting for this boogeyman to start,
That's really what it is,
right?
This is the boogeyman. I mean, I think I told you this yesterday. All of the officials, they say this often, and they're preaching from the same choir book. They're like, write your name on your arm if you're in one of these evacuation zones where we told you to evacuate.
Yeah,
because we want to be able to identify you.
Have you done that?
No, I'm not. I'm in D.
Yeah, right.
So
of the evacuation
so
zone. Okay.
They now have evacuated A, B, and C.
And you're in D.
That's correct.
You're next, Lloyd.
So what's your escape plan? Let's say it gets really bad in D. Where you are. Okay. Do you have a 2-story house? What if the water starts coming in?
No.
Where do you go? What do you do?
No. Okay. First, you don't climb onto the second story, which I find to be odd. They say that's dangerous. Don't do that. Okay. Now, there have been people in some of these hurricanes who have literally clawed through their roof from inside their attic to get on top of their roofs and be rescued by helicopter. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're really asking an interesting question. It's like, so what's the escape plan? Right now, the escape plan is that we are in a concrete building that was built for hurricanes.
Okay.
And to tell you how I feel about that, this afternoon, I think it was in the Wall Street Journal, they did this thing. It's like the search for building a perfect hurricane-proof building. And I thought, that means they don't have one. Ooh.
Gosh. So you really so if I'm hearing you right, Lloyd, you've got the generators. You told us that yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got the flashlights. You told us that yesterday. You're not at your house. You're at your father-in-law's house. You think that building, the house, is built better to withstand something like this, and that's the plan. And
we are more confident now than we were before.
Why?
Why?
Because
of the turn north. Okay,
the eye of the storm.
Okay.
Yeah, that violent storm is making a turn, and it's very definitive. So the closer it gets to hitting the beach, when it hits the beach, it's on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, we know pretty much where it's going at that point. It could do anything until then. So we're not out of the woods, and we are seeing this wind draft come and beat our trees down. We don't have a lot of heavy trees in the neighborhood where we are. We have these swaying palm trees, but we're seeing on the news everywhere around us, they're being snapped and thrown to the ground. And it's really interesting.
Hey, Lloyd, is your adrenaline going? Like, are you going to be able to sleep tonight?
Oh.
Is it going to be too noisy to sleep, or are you going to be too amped up or nervous or what have you?
Well, first, I'm glad you said that because it reminded me to say something about the hurricane glass because I'm blown away by this.
Okay.
Right.
Might not want to use those terms, but that's okay.
Well, no, I guess not. All right. Look, we went through Ian, okay, and my wife works in the music business, so she flew away to Dallas, which made me feel good. During Ian, we were in this building that I'm in right now. We took a absolute direct hit from a hurricane.
No doubt.
Right here, okay. And when that occurred, after the hurricane had left, we went outside, we saw neighbors, and everybody complained about how loud it was.
Mm-hmm.
Dick, my father-in-law, and I sat in here. We don't have any shutters up because we have hurricane glass. So we watched the whole thing, but heard nothing.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, and listen, this is what's really cool. Right now, it is huge and noisy outside, but inside,
Because I'm looking. Look, you just posted some videos recently. I'm following you every post you make on Facebook Live. You posted some videos, and the storm is upon you. I can see the trees moving. I can see the rain coming down, and it's quiet as a church where you are.
Are you on a cell phone right now?
I am on a cell phone.
Can you go outside for a second?
I can. If I do, I might have some noise in between.
It's okay.
And I'm not sure. And it's pitch dark. So
I was gonna say it's what 7:15 there.
Like just for 10 seconds.
Okay.
Don't get hurt. Because
I don't know how bad it would be. I don't know if you could be able to hear it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Can you hear this?
Yeah, we can hear some wind. What would you estimate the wind is like right now?
Oh, man, I don't really know that at the moment. Now, remember, you're saying, okay, this thing is upon us. No, it isn't.
Okay.
Okay, this thing is coming. Okay?
Okay.
This is coming here. So we know. We know that the big stuff is coming yet still.
Okay.
Okay? What we don't know is how far will it shear off north, and we're beginning to suspect that it's really going to hit Tampa Bay. And as I told you yesterday, that bay is really, really shallow. And, man, there are tons and tons of buildings, and, you know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. We're real concerned for the bay. Loyd, please go back inside, for God's sakes. I don't get us making you run outside. I'm going to ask you again. Yeah. Can we check back in with you tomorrow? Fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
All right, 4.
Absolutely. And listen,
I'm invested in this.
Here.
I believe you.
We're not leaving. We're barely going to go outside.
Yeah.
Because this thing is coming. So,
yes, sir.
So look, here's what's really interesting. Check back with us tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because tonight, between midnight and 2 a.m., I don't know. It's not going to be good.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, be safe, man.
Please.
We're praying for you guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, Loyd. We'll talk to you soon.
Loyd
we'll talk to him tomorrow.
Ford, your buddy.
Yeah, just south of Tampa, in the evacuation zone D. And again, only Gaydos would make my friend walk outside in a hurricane, so we could get some of the sound of it.